Thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. C&P exam disaster. What can you do about it? Who can you complain to? You know, I've heard horror story after horror story. You know, your bad back, your bad knee, and they tell you to move, see how far you can bend it, and you go as far as you can without it turning into extreme pain, and then they decide to push on you, right? In some cases, causing injury. And this is not appropriate, and what can you do about it? And that's what we're going to talk about here, is a few things with regard to the C&P exam. And oh, by the way, you can file for travel reimbursement to and from your C&P exam, so don't forget to do that. So please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Everyone who does that is helping the channel to grow and get the word out to more of us. So your C&P exam, the first thing I'm going to say is, you know, be prepared for it. Don't just walk into it blindly. Read your schedule of ratings and know what the VA is looking for to assign whatever rating that you would warrant. Going in prepared takes the pressure off, and you can take notes with you. This is not some sort of closed book test, okay? But now you're in your C&P exam, and maybe it went a little sideways or something didn't quite feel appropriate. And I mean, it could be the examples I gave of where they push you beyond your limit, and essentially, you know, you're laid up for 3 days after the fact because, you know, they pushed on you and hurt your knee or your back or whatever it is. So on the VA's website directly, under their C&P exam kind of page, there is a spot, and it says, "What if I had a bad experience at my claim exam?" Well, good question. What if I did? What should we do? So what the VA suggests here is, if you had a bad experience with a provider at your claim exam, we, the VA, encourage you to report your concerns right away. Okay, reporting your concerns is not complaining online about it. It's going the appropriate route so the appropriate individuals are aware. Then you can also complain online. All right, so you can report your concerns in any of these ways. There are 4 bullet points, so you can pick your flavor. Number 1 here, and it's not in any specific order, give feedback on the contractor's customer satisfaction survey. Write a letter and submit it as part of your claim file. Okay, you can utilize the form 4138 and do that. You know, today's date of whatever, I got to my C&P exam for this condition, and explain it out, right? Number 3, call the contractor who scheduled your exam and let them know. Number 4, call us, the VA, at 800-827-1000. Or you can contact your local VA regional office, and then there's a hyperlink here within this page that will send you there. You know, sure, do the customer satisfaction survey. Fine, if they gave you one, fill that out. I'm a fan of the 4138. You can make sure that it's put into your claim file. I'm a fan of letting the contractor who scheduled your exam know. I'm a fan of calling the VA and letting them know. I'm a fan of doing all of those. So that is their information on what to do if you experienced a bad claim, a bad exam. So let's read through some of the C&P other information, right? So I already told you, being prepared is probably the best thing you can do for your C&P exam. Being prepared and knowing what the VA is looking for, right? Read the schedule of ratings for your condition. That's the number one thing. Read the schedule of ratings for your condition. Read them all. For this percentage, this percentage, this percentage, it's going to give you the criteria for every percentage that's allowed for that condition. Read the lowest one. If you meet all the criteria, great. Read the next one. If you meet all the criteria, great. Read the next one. If you meet all the criteria, great. Do the next one. If you don't, then stay there, right? If you meet all the criteria but you don't meet the next one's criteria, then stay at that one. And write all of that down, copy, paste it, print it out, do something, keep it with you so you can recite it and share it with your C&P examiner so you can make sure that they're getting the correct information. They're going to put that information down into essentially a DBQ that gets sent to the VA rater. The VA rater is going to read that and then do a compare and contrast of the answers you gave here in your C&P exam, and they're going to look at your schedule of ratings, and they're going to go, okay, well, which rating do you fall under, right? So the C&P exam is for two things. One, to help the VA determine the appropriate rating for you, and two, make sure you're service connected for it, right? They're going to say, yeah, it's at least likely as not that this condition is due to that. So here on the VA's website, VA claim exam, C&P, after you file your disability benefits claim, we may ask you to have a claim exam, also known as a compensation and pension exam or C&P exam. And it goes on here, why might we need an exam? This exam will help us determine if you have a service-connected disability. It will also help us rate your disability if you have one. Those are the two major goals that they are looking for, right? Establish service connection and get the information needed to assign the appropriate rating, right? You are really, I guess, you have a lot of control, especially on the appropriate rating side for many conditions. You need to make sure that you know what they're looking for, and then know yourself, and then be able to say all of the information that they're looking for so you can make sure that you get the appropriate rating. Moving on, we base your rating on how severe your disability is, and your rating will affect how much disability compensation you receive. Compensation may include things like monthly payments and enrollment in the VA healthcare program, which the VA healthcare program by itself is a tremendous benefit that is worth a lot of money if you were to go get health insurance on your own out of pocket somewhere. You're saving thousands and thousands of dollars per year. So moving on, does everyone who files a claim need to have a VA claim exam? No, is the answer to that. We'll ask you to have a claim exam only if we need more information to decide your claim. If we have enough medical evidence in your file to support your claim, we'll follow the acceptable clinical evidence process, the ACE process. So ACE process is essentially stating that they have enough acceptable clinical evidence, okay, to go ahead and make their decision. So if you worked appropriately with your doctor, just to give a fast view here, you read the schedule of ratings, you know exactly where you rate for certain conditions because you've read the information. You then pull up the DBQ, you go to your civilian provider who's already diagnosed you, and you have them insert into their notes your signs, symptoms, durations, all that evidence from the schedule of ratings. Have them insert that into their notes, right? How are you feeling? What are your symptoms like? They put all that stuff in there. Then you give them a DBQ, and they fill out that DBQ, and they make sure that they put all that same information in the DBQ. Maybe you have a nexus letter from them to double down, even if you have proof of in-service manifestation, or that it's due to your time in service in some way already established. You still have them do the nexus letter stating that it is more than likely due to your time in service, yada, yada. And now you've really buttoned this thing up for the VA and made it really easy for them to not only see that you're service connected, but also assign you the appropriate rating. So let's move on here. It states that if they go with the ACE, which is the acceptable clinical evidence process, this means we'll review your medical records and ask you to submit more evidence if needed, instead of asking you to have an exam. Medical evidence may include doctor and hospital reports, test results, and other documentation. Will I need more than one VA claim exam? You may need more than one claim exam in these situations. If you submit a claim or for more than one condition, you may need more than one exam. We'll try to schedule all your exams on the same day. Next bullet here is, for some conditions, you may need a follow-up exam called a review exam. In review exam, the provider will determine whether the severity of your condition has changed since your last exam. If you request a decision review of your claim decision, we may ask you for another exam. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.